Once it says live, and we are live. Hello,
Hey.
everyone, and welcome back again to my channel. My name is Gloria. If this is your very first time you're seeing this face, welcome to my channel. Today, we have a very wonderful guest in the house. Her name is Loriann. Welcome to my channel. Today we have Mom, sorry. um, Sorry about that. I know you can hear my voice somewhere. Can you reduce that? Mom, sorry. Sorry about that. So, today we're going to be talking about taxes in Canada for new immigrants, and Loriann Johnson is my guest today. I'll tell you briefly who Loriann is. She is an income tax consultant, and she's the owner of Rights Business Solutions here in Canada. She provides individuals and businesses with value added income tax planning. And she's actually committed to providing clients with exceptional service and income tax advice that you all can trust. Ultimately, the goal for Loriann is to educate the community around her about the Canadian tax system and creating strategies for clients as well to pay less of their hard earned money to the government as tax. We all know nobody wants to give the government extra money. So,
Yeah.
um, clients can also get to achieve a favorable income tax experience from Loriann through proper tax planning, number one, and record keeping. So you can always redirect the money you used to save to pay down for like your first home or other savings as well, such as buying things that you love the bills. So Loriann is here to show you more about taxes in Canada for new immigrants. And let me not just keep quiet now and allow her to tell you more about taxes. Take it away, girl.
Great. Thanks so much, Gloria, for this opportunity. And thanks for the lovely introduction. Thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
One moment.
And guys, please don't forget to leave your questions because we would answer that at the end. We'll be taking questions, and yeah, so she has something to share with us today.
Sorry,
Talk
just
about technology.
one more moment. Okay.
That's
Oops.
okay. Here we go.
Give me one more moment. Um,
And please, guys, as you watch, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to move the video to other people as well.
Great. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about the tax system in Canada. As Gloria mentioned, my name is Loriann Johnson, the owner of Right Business Solutions. I do income tax preparation online, and I serve clients in all of the provinces and territories in Canada. All right, we'll get right into it. So today we're going to talk about the Canadian income tax system, timeline for filing your taxes, what tax deductions mean versus tax credits. We'll get into RRSPs, RESPs, tax-free savings account, RRSPs. We'll discuss what it means to get a tax refund, and we'll talk about some tax tips. And I'll definitely answer your questions at the end. All right. So the government of Canada requires funds for the country's development and also to provide benefits to its citizens and residents. One of the ways the government collects these funds is through taxes. You probably hear about the CRA. That is the Canada Revenue Agency. They act as an agent for the government and also acts as a collections agency for those who owe taxes or evade paying taxes. So you'd ask, do you need to file taxes? Well, the most important thing to understand is your residency for tax purposes. This is different from your immigration status. So residency can either be resident or non-resident. If you are a resident for tax purposes. You have a spouse or dependent who live with you. You have bank accounts, credit cards, or driver's license in Canada. You also have social ties. So you might be a member of a church, a recreational group. You also have bank accounts and credit cards, as I mentioned. So if you're a non-resident, for tax purposes, you do not have significant residential ties to Canada, and your stay in Canada is usually less than 183 days during the year. People who are non-residents are not usually, are only taxed on their taxable income earned in Canada. Okay, so newcomers and international students. Newcomers are protected peoples, including refugees. They've applied or received permanent residence status, received an approval in principle to stay in Canada. Newcomers usually establish their ties to the country on the date they arrive. I'd also like to mention that international students are considered temporary residents, and if they live in Canada for more than 183 days and acquire a driver's license, they have to file their income taxes as residents. But to qualify for certain benefits and credits, they might have to meet the eligibility by maintaining their status in the country for over 18 months. Now, let's talk about tax filing timelines. Fast approaching is the start of the tax season, which is February 21st. So a little over a week will be the first day where you can file your 2021 tax return. Also, if you'd like to contribute to your Rrsp, the deadline to contribute is March 2nd. That's the date that you must make your contributions before for it to be considered for the 2021 tax year. May 2nd is the deadline. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great. So May 2nd is the deadline to file your taxes. Usually this deadline is April 30th, but because April 30th falls on a weekend, May 2nd is the next business day. Also, for business owners or sole proprietors, the deadline to pay your taxes that you owe for 2021 is May 2nd, formally April 30th, but you get that extension because of the weekend. So even so, your deadline to file your taxes as a small business owner is June 15. However, if you owe money to the government, your deadline is actually May 2nd. So there may be a reason you might find to file your taxes slightly earlier so that if you are owing taxes, having a small business, you can still maintain the May 2nd deadline. Also, May 2nd is also the deadline to pay any taxes owed to CRA. So if you had any previous arrangement, there's been some extensions for people who have owed money. May 2nd is now the new deadline. All right. So the next thing we'll talk about are income tax brackets. You probably hear that a lot. So when you earn income, your total taxable income will fall into several tax brackets. So listed here on this presentation is the federal personal income tax bracket. In Canada, you have to pay federal tax as well as provincial tax on your earned income. Because, there's so many different provinces and territories, we don't have that much space or time to discuss each province, but these are the provincial tax rate. So for instance, if you earn $60,000, you would now fall into the tax bracket for 2021 where your federal tax rate is 20.5%. Also to note, for 2021, if you make less than $13,808, you wouldn't have to pay taxes on that income. Another way to say that is the first $13,808 that you earn is not taxed in Canada. Now, to file your taxes, you'll need different documents to provide to your tax preparer. So you'll need T-slips if you have earned any income from various sources, or if you have any contributions that you've made to any sort of investments. If you've received employment insurance, the government will send you, or any sort of COVID supports benefits, you will receive a T4A. You'll need any record of any other income that may not be covered on a T4. Also, if you have any receipts from tax deductions that you can make to either reduce your tax liability or to reduce your taxable income. That would include receipts for medical expenses, charitable donations, and if you have a family and children, any childcare or caregiver expenses. So you definitely need to keep your receipts for those various tax deductions. Also, if you rent, you may qualify for the Ontario Trillium benefit depending on your income. So also keeping your rent receipts. And if you are a property owner, you should definitely keep your property tax bill that states how much you pay in property tax depending on your income. You might as well qualify for the Ontario Trillium benefit. Now, maybe there's someone who is earning income from another country. You'd also need to have record of your foreign income and any pension slips, if applicable. Now, for students, you will receive a form from your school and a T-slip for any tuition paid. And if you have any documentation for the past year, such as if you contributed to your RRSPs, that would be helpful to provide to your income tax preparer. This is not a document, but definitely very helpful for you, is to create a CRA account where you can access your last year's notice of assessment, where you can see your deduction limit for your RRSPs and your contribution room for your TFSA, your tax-free savings account. And that will help if there are any issues. Your tax preparer can actually, like myself, can actually go into your account as a representative and view your CRA correspondence, which could definitely assist you. Now, this is just a typical example of what a T4 would look like. This is your statement of earnings if you receive one from your employment. So there's various tax slips. There's a T4 for your earned income, such as the example on the screen. Then there's the T4A, which is statement of pension, retirement, or other income. As I mentioned, if you received any COVID supports. Then we have the T4A, which is for the old age security. T4 Rrsp, statement of Rrsp, if you made any contributions. And if you have any investment income, they would be listed on your T5 slip. Also, as I mentioned, if you're a student and you pay tuition for full-time post-secondary education, your school will provide you with a T2202A. Slight typo there. Any questions so far before I move on to the next topic?
I do have a few questions based on what we talked about. So you said something about tax liability. So if someone is watching this video right now, wondering, what does she even mean by tax liability? What does that mean?
It's just a different way of saying, oh, like if you owe taxes.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you owe taxes, having receipts such as your medical expenses and such will help reduce the amount that you could possibly owe if you are owing.
Okay. And then the information about the income tax bracket. I know the screen wasn't too legible, but how do we find that information if we want to?
You could definitely go on the CRA website.
Okay.
They have all that information there. I would say, speak to your tax preparer as well. Okay. They'll definitely give you more information and let you know where you would fall on that, chart. Yeah.
So if I am new to Canada and I also have foreign income, how does that work? Because you had mentioned that we need to also file foreign income. How does that work?
So the amount that you earn in another country, basically Canada has different treaties with various countries. So you may not have to file taxes in both countries, depending on what that country is. There's a whole listing of countries that have agreements with Canada. However, to state your foreign income, you just need to provide your tax preparer with your total income earned. And then there's a conversion rate that will convert that amount to Canadian dollars. And then that amount is added to your taxable income and any income you've earned here in Canada.
Okay. So for international students who are here in Canada, you said something about, what was it now? Taxes that they do pay, they do file their taxes. How does that work for somebody who just arrived in Canada?
Yes.
And they have to file their tax?
So it's definitely based on residency. If you're a temporary resident, you'd have to meet the threshold for time spent in the country. Okay. So for instance, if you're a student and you have a child and you'd like to apply for the Canada Child Benefit, you have to be in the country for at least 18 months prior in order to qualify for a benefit like that.
Okay. Yes. Are you going to talk about that child tax benefit?
Yes.
Okay.
I will. All right. So can we move on?
Yeah, that's the questions I have so far for now.
Awesome. So next, we'll talk about the tax deductions and credits. All right. So important concepts: exemptions, deductions, refundable tax credits, and non-refundable tax credits. So in Canada, there are some exemptions to earned income or incomes that you do not have to report, which is most lottery winnings, the Canada Child Benefit, that is not taxed, any GST, HST benefits, any reimbursed expenses, and money earned from garage sales. So that's good news. Then there are deductions. Deductions are those that can be deducted from your income. Deductions reduce your taxable income and can be found on line 260 on your income tax return. These will reduce the taxes you pay. Okay. Childcare expenses, union dues, working from home, so employment expenses, and any employment-related moving costs, just to name a few. Then there are tax credits. They're deducted from the taxes you owe, thus reducing your taxes. Also known as non-refundable tax credits. You get money in the form of tax credits. Sorry, slight typo again. I'll move on. So there's non-refundable tax credits. These are credits that can be used to reduce the amounts of taxes that you pay. These credits are not useful to those who do not pay taxes. So you definitely have to pay taxes to qualify for these credits. So examples are the basic personal amount. So to be exempt for the, everything okay?
Yep.
Oh, okay. There's a little bit of feedback on my end, but I will just continue going. Yes.
Do you still hear any sound?
Now it's good.
Good? Okay.
Yes. So the non-refundable tax credits wouldn't really benefit those who do not pay taxes. So the basic personal amount, as I mentioned, the first $13,808 earned, you're exempt from paying taxes. So if you don't earn that money, you wouldn't qualify for that exemption. Also, non-refundable tax credits, the disability tax credit for yourself, the tuition tax credit, interest paid on student loans, and eligible medical expenses. Then there are refundable tax credits. You will be paid these credits if you are eligible, irrespective if you pay taxes or not, or if you have income. So this is the GST, HST tax credit, and also the Canada Child Benefit. So you don't need to have earned income in order to qualify for these tax credits. All right, so we'll quickly just go over what an RESP is.
Can we ask a quick question on that? So
Sure.
You said even if you haven't earned income here in Canada, you can get the child care benefits. Does that mean for someone who has just landed in Canada and they have children, they can apply for that? Is that what you're saying?
No. So you have to maintain your residency, like it's based on your resident status. So once you maintain that resident status, what I'm saying is once you maintain the eligibility through residency, you don't necessarily have to have a job or any earned income to qualify for these credits.
Okay.
Yes. And typically they're based on your income anyhow. So if you have a low income, you qualify for a higher amount for these credits. Yeah. Any other questions from the audience?
No, not yet.
Okay, great. All right. So an RESP is a registered education savings plan. This plan was created by the government to help with post-secondary education for children. The money you invest in the RESP grows tax deferred, and the federal government helps to contribute to your savings in the form of education grants. How do RESPs help your money grow? Well, the sooner you start an RESP for your child, the more time your contributions will have the chance to grow. The Canada Education Savings Grant matches 20% of annual contributions up to $500 per year. The matching contributions can continue until the lifetime limit of $7,200 per child has been reached. Investing your Canada Child Benefit could help you save enough to qualify for the maximum CESG amount, as I mentioned, that is $7,200 per child that the government contributes. Now, what is a tax-free savings account? A tax-free savings account was introduced in 2009 by the Government of Canada as an incentive for eligible Canadians to save. A tax-free savings account is a registered tax advantage savings account that can help you earn money tax-free. So you can think of a tax-free savings account like a basket where you can hold qualified investments like cash, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and can withdraw the contributions as well as the interest, the capital gains, and dividends earned in the account at any time without paying taxes or reporting the withdrawals as income when you file your taxes. For 2021, the annual contribution limit is $6,000 plus any unused contribution for the previous years and any withdrawals from the tax-free savings account for the previous year. So what that means is, for instance, if last year I withdrew $10,000 from my tax-free savings account, I couldn't replace the 10,000 last year that was withdrawn. I would have to wait until the following year to put the max, I'd have to wait until the following year when my dollar limit is now $6,000, but the withdrawal of $10,000 from the previous year is now added to the 6,000. So I'm able to put up to a max of 16,000. So what that means is if you make a withdrawal that's more than your actual limit, you have to wait until the following year, and depending on how much that amount is, to replace the funds. Now, an RRSP is a registered retirement savings plan. It's registered with the Canadian federal government that you contribute for retirement purposes. When you contribute money to an RRSP, your funds are tax advantaged or tax deferred, meaning they're exempt from being taxed in the year that you make the contribution. Any investment income earned from investments held within the RRSP can grow tax deferred as long as the money remains in the RRSP until it is withdrawn. So your RRSP contribution or deduction limit for 2021 was 18% of your 2021 earned income, or 27,830, whichever is lower, plus the previous year's unused contribution room. Now, what it means to get a refund. So you will get a refund if you paid more taxes in the year than you were required to pay. You made excess contributions to CPP, which is the Canadian Pension Plan. You made excess contributions to EI, or you were eligible for refundable tax credits. This is just a short overview of the tax system in Canada. Do you have any questions? Let's get to some questions.
Yeah, I do have some questions, a few questions. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the tax-free savings account, because you see,
Sure.
you actually mentioned that we contribute whatever we withdrew. So if I took out 10,000 based on your explanation the year before, and the maximum not the maximum, the minimum contribution, right? Is it the minimum or the maximum?
The maximum.
The maximum contribution allowable every year on a tax-free is 6,000.
Yes.
At least for this year. So if I withdrew 10,000 last year, you're saying I can do 16,000 this year because I took 10,000 last year.
Yes. The amount that you withdrew opens your contribution room for the following year. Yes.
Okay. What if I make a mistake and I'm not too sure how much I have in my room, and I don't want to overpay because there might be an issue? I don't know, but just in case, what do I need to do?
So you could do one of two things. I mentioned earlier on, in addition to having your tax documents, you should definitely create a CRA My Account. There you can view your previous year's notice of assessment. And on the notice of assessment, it will state what your contribution room is for your tax-free savings account, and also your limits for your RRSPs. You can also contact, your tax preparer, like myself. I'm usually the authorized representative for my clients, so I'm able to look into that information for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of the RESP, you had also mentioned something about a 6,000 is 2,500. That's 2,500, and then the government will match the 500. What if I want to make a contribution of just 3,000, or I want to make a contribution of just 500? Do I still get something from the government or no?
It's based on your contribution for a particular year, and it also depends on the age of the child. So that's something that you would also have to contact, I'm guessing, the provider for the Rrsp, but you can definitely make lump sum payments for sure.
Lump sum payments, okay.
Yes.
There's one question on here. It's not on the chat, but it's just when you talked about deductions,
Yes.
you said the deduction can reduce the income.
Yes.
So just to clarify,
Mhm.
that information again.
Got it. There are some deductions that you can make that will reduce your taxable income. There's things like medical expenses, childcare expenses that will definitely help you in that. However, you have to have your receipts just in case you're ever audited by CRA to substantiate those amounts.
So when you talk about medical expenses, and this is my own personal question. So say I visited the hospital last year and I have all my receipts. Are you saying that it will be eligible for me to claim a refund?
Not a refund. You're just claiming your expenses. And I guess depending on your income and how much that how much that medical expense is, it will lower your taxable income, which would help you to get a refund.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, that makes sense. All right, I did get some questions in last week. I can start with those ones.
Sure.
So,
I'll stop sharing my screen.
that's okay.
There we go.
Awesome. Can you explain the GST and HST?
Okay. So as I mentioned in my presentation, it is a tax, credit, and it's based on your income. So the government realizes that a lot of its citizens are paying a lot in taxes, and it's just a sort of like a benefit to help everyone alleviate some of the tax burden. So depending on how much your income is, you may qualify for the GST, HST. Yes.
Okay. What happens when we don't file our taxes?
So if you don't file your taxes and you're owing money, then there is penalties and interest that will be owed on the amount that is owing. If you don't owe taxes, there isn't any penalty. However, there are tax benefits and credits that you may qualify for that you're not taking advantage of. So you're not capitalizing on money that is available to you. So I definitely encourage everyone to file your taxes every year and on time so that you can get the benefits and credits that you're eligible for, and better yet, that you're not paying interest and penalties when there's a lot of help out there. CRA will assist you in managing your amount owing. They will assist you with installment payments and payment arrangements. So there's things that you can do that you can avoid or reduce the amount that you're going to pay in interest and penalties.
Okay, that makes sense. How many years can you go without filing taxes?
I'm not sure how many, but I've seen people not file their taxes for at least 12 years. You can go back as far as 10 years for sure. However, there's a certain point where I think it's 3 years prior, you can e-file, but any years prior to those three, you have to do a paper copy and send it to CRA. So it does take a longer time to process those tax returns.
Okay.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to wait that long, because CRA will contact you and enforce that you do file your taxes.
Okay. One other question here is how, not that one. Can we file tax for free?
I'm sure there are free tax clinics available. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of them, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of free tax clinics that are available to the general public. If they're unable to have the funds available. Yes.
And I do remember when I first came into Canada as an international student, I really didn't know this until much later, like 3 years after the fact. And this is something that international students can learn from. There are different, I believe, I don't know what they call them, but they do that for free for international students. So they should check in their community to get that information.
Yeah.
I know there's one in Kitchener. There should be one in Guelph, but it depends on where you're located. I am speaking for Ontario, and I believe you're also speaking for Ontario, right?
Yes.
All right.
But I must say, definitely contact me if you are looking for a tax preparer that you can trust and who's reliable. I could definitely assist you in getting your taxes completed.
Awesome. And you are not too expensive too.
I'm very reasonable. I have flat fees, so it's not dependent on how much you're getting on a refund.
Okay.
So I'm very transparent with my fees.
Okay. Another question here is, can you explain taxes for small business owners in Canada?
Okay. Well, one thing to note, if you are a small business, your business income will be added to your personal income. So your business taxes will include your personal tax information as well. So that's something to consider. Also, keep good record keeping, which would include keeping receipts, categorizing your expenses, and accounting for all of your expenses, because having expenses will definitely help to bring down your taxable income, and you'll see the benefit for sure.
Okay. This question is really odd, and I'm not sure why this person asked this question, but they sent this to me. Why do we pay taxes in Canada?
So as I mentioned in my first couple of slides, it's basically to maintain the lifestyle that we all enjoy. Taxes are paid federally, municipally, and provincially, right? So when we go to a park or we enjoy our communities, taxes, help everyone enjoy the Canada that we love.
Mm-hmm. So it is important for everybody to file their taxes.
It is. It is.
It is. Okay. And how, I know you've mentioned this before, but would you be able to know what the best province is for reduced taxes? I know there are some provinces that pay less tax than we do here in Ontario, but if you were to recommend, I'm not saying this is you saying go and listen to what I've said, but if you were to recommend in terms of taxes, because you file taxes for the whole of Canada, you might be able to give us an idea, maybe.
You know what? I actually haven't studied which province, is better tax-wise. But I do know that Manitoba, they don't pay HST, it's just GST. So, instead of the 13%, they're down to 7%. So, yes, I haven't studied, Gloria, to be honest, but
That's okay.
I think, each individual needs to do their own research to see, which province might be more beneficial for them.
Yeah, and it all boils down to you thinking or doing your own research, like you said. I know I made a video about deciding what province or where to go to in terms of taxes, because some province they do pay high taxes than others. I know my friends in Alberta, Saskatchewan. I always tell them, you guys are enjoying, especially in Alberta, because if I
Yeah.
want to buy a phone here, I have to calculate 13%. But in Alberta, like, you know how much they're paying in taxes? It's something. So do your
Yes.
research and know where to go. That's what I always say, because if I tell you something, you come back and say Gloria said this. So we don't
Yeah.
want
And
that to happen, right?
there's so many other factors to consider more than taxes. Quality
Yeah.
of life, you
Yeah.
know,
School for
some
your kids.
exactly. Yeah. Weather even, right?
Yeah, because there are some parts of Canada here that are very, very cold,
Yeah.
depending on where you're situated, but others are just like really mild. So
Miles.
some
Yes.
people want something mild, some people want something loud. It just depends on your person, right?
Exactly.
So the next question here is, what if I owe more than I can pay? I don't know what that means.
Well, for most of my clients, I have them sign something called a CRA authorization form, which allows me to be their representative to CRA. So if any of my clients do encounter issues, I'm able to call CRA on their behalf, plead their case, and come up with a reasonable agreement that would be favorable for my client and manageable going forward. So that's a strategy that I always tell my clients to take advantage of using me, to help them to manage their taxes,
Oh, okay.
not
So
just their
I'm
tax filing, but I'm here to, assist with every process along the way.
okay. So this one question has to do with the RSPs. How do I know how much? Because you had said to reduce your tax. I believe that's what you said. You can let me know if I'm wrong. To reduce your tax, you need to contribute to your RSPs. How much? How do I know how much to contribute to the RSP?
Got it. So one thing I will say that the purpose of the RSP is to, save for your retirement, right?
Okay.
Luckily, in doing so, the amount that you contribute will help reduce your taxable income. How do you know? First of all, you'll know your um, contribution limit on your notice of assessment.
Okay.
But you can also talk to, your tax preparer. And I think this is like the main difference between, a lot of people will say they go online and they file their taxes online. Well, I'm actually here to help my clients to strategize, to do tax planning, where I can, say to them, okay, maybe contribute $2,000 before the deadline, because this will help bring down your taxable income and may generate a refund. So I think being able to speak to your tax preparer and to get that feedback would definitely be to your advantage.
Okay. And now this is just a general question. Now, I know we're talking about taxes for new immigrants here in Canada. You've used a lot of acronyms that probably some persons are wondering, okay, what is she talking about? What is notice of assessment? What does that even look like? What does that mean? And I know your slides actually showed us a picture. So maybe show us that slide again and tell us a little bit about what the notice of
Okay.
assessment, if you can.
That that wasn't actually a notice of assessment. That was a T4 slip. But
Oh, so there's a difference
what
between a T4 slip.
so a T4 slip is what you get from your employer for your earned income. And a notice of assessment is when you filed your taxes, CRA will do their own, checks to verify the numbers.
Okay.
For example, your employer, they're giving you a T4, but they also record your income to CRA as well. So CRA cross references both the information that you give um, as well as what your employer gives. And then they kind of do the verification process, and the notice of assessment will tell you and will basically, like when I do my clients' taxes, I will tell them how much they're potentially getting in a refund, but the notice of assessment will tell them definitively that amount. So it will either verify the amount that I've given to my client, or based on some kind of recalculation that was necessary on CRA's end, they may do a recalculation, which they will explain.
So
And
now that
one more thing to know, when you file your taxes, a notice of assessment is generated 2 weeks after, or 10 business days. And it also coincides with a refund. So if you are getting a refund 2 weeks later after filing your taxes, or 10 business days, you will get that tax refund available to you.
Okay. So when you say recalculation, are you saying that there might have been a mistake from the employer or from CRA? That's why there's a recalculation? How does that work?
I don't know the interworkings, but they will just verify the numbers that they are, true to form, and also, like for example, I'm trying to see any recalculations. So if they would like to verify your expenses, if you're a small business owner, through the notice of assessment, they'll ask for more information. So it's just CRA's check. They're just double checking that the information that was e-filed is correct.
Okay. So you touched on this before. How do I know what kind of deductions I qualify for? Is that something that the system tells me, or I need to know beforehand?
You don't need to know beforehand. Generally, once you do your taxes, depending on your taxable income, the benefits and credits that you qualify for will be revealed. So it's all based on the income that's reported.
Okay. This question came in as well. It says, what is the minimum tax-free income in Canada?
I think I touched that as well. The first $13,808 for 2021 is tax-free. And that's for federal taxes. So depending on your province, they also have a threshold where you wouldn't pay taxes provincially on that income.
Okay. This one says, you talked about tax benefit for those who work from home, like COVID benefits.
Yes.
Can you throw more or shed more light on those COVID benefits?
Sure. So
and working from home.
Great. So working from home, you can qualify or claim 2 different types of working from home expenses. One is a simplified method where you can claim $2 per day for 250 days of the year. And what that will generate is a credit of $500. Or if your workplace gives you a T2200, that's a tax slip. It's called a T2200. Your employer will certify that your working from home expenses are due to the situation related to COVID, and will basically certify that you can claim working from home expenses. So in doing so, you can claim, depending on how much your workspace occupies your home, it will determine how much of your overall expenses you can claim. So for that detailed method, you're able to claim utilities, your cell phone bill, your internet, your heating, your cooling, any office supplies, office furniture that you purchase for working from home. And let's just say you occupy 10% of your entire home for your office, then it's prorated 10% of all of your expenses that you can claim for working from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts or any advice for newcomers to Canada in terms of taxes? Because I know that's what we're actually dealing on. What would be your advice for anyone who is new to Canada?
Um, hmm. Definitely number one, find a trusted tax professional to assist you. Keep good record keeping. Maintain your receipts. Um, um, Also, I would just say for newcomers, definitely maintain social ties to the country so that you can meet the threshold for residency in order to file taxes. So just you know, keep that at the back of your mind. And also, hmm, um, be on time. So meet the timelines. File your taxes before the deadline because you don't want, if you are owing money, you don't want to pay any penalties and fees for sure. So just be mindful of the tax dates and keep those in mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if there are people who watch this video right now and want to get in touch with you for their taxes, I know I had read your bio before, and I did mention something about filing taxes for the whole of Canada. Can you just briefly touch on that and then probably just leave your contact information on the chat?
sure. So I do income tax preparation online. So I have a whole process where we technically don't have to meet face to face. I do income taxes for each province and territory. So I'm able to get a large reach. Um, Also, if you'd like to contact me, I'm on Instagram at WRIT Business, as well as you can email me at info@writebusiness, which is spelled WRITE business.ca.
So the email again, sorry.
It is info@writebusiness.ca.
There we go. So
Great.
to find Loriann on Instagram will be Right Business.
Yeah.
And then email address to contact Loriann will be info@rightbusiness.ca. I would leave her information contact in the description. Please, guys, check the description because there are lots of information on there. And again, I just want to say thank you so much, Loriann, for giving me the honor and the opportunity to have this this chat with you because I remember coming to you. You were being so busy, you know. I know you just finished one session last week, and you were like, "No, you're super busy," but you were able to squeeze this time for us. So we
Yeah.
do appreciate you coming in today to teach us a little bit about taxes because for me personally, I know I've been here for what 8 years, but I still struggle with tax related issues.
Definitely feel free to contact me.
Yeah, so I think I'll be calling you very shortly to tell me what I need to know about filing my taxes so that I don't miss anything. And that's an advice again, just like Lauren had said earlier on. If you're new to Canada, you're an international student, you know fully well that you do have those benefits from your tuition, right? You said so earlier on, from your tuition, your textbooks, and stuff like that. I remember in 2018, so I finished school in 2016, and when
Okay.
I filed my taxes for 2017, I think I got almost, was it 16,000? And I'm like, how did that happen?
Yes.
Because
The
I didn't
two.
understand how I got that huge amount. And so the person who filed the tax then said to me that it was because of credits,
Yeah, tuition credits. Yeah.
tuition credit. And I'm like, maybe I should go back to school again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it. Does anyone else have any questions? We do appreciate your time so much, Loriann. Any
Thank you.
last final words for us before you go?
Um, well, the beginning of the tax season is February 21st, which is Monday after next. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great tax season, and definitely contact me if you need any help. I'll
Awesome.
definitely prepare your taxes. Thank you. Thank you,
We
Gloria,
will.
for having
Thank
me. I
you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Loriann. I do
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We do appreciate you too. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us all through this period of our chat with Loriann about taxes. Again, if you do have any questions, I know some of you missed the live stream, live chat. Yeah, you also missed the live chat. If you do have any questions, don't fail to leave a comment, and you can always email me gracious number two BHOLD@gmail.com. My information will also be in the description box, so please make sure that you're doing that. And thank you so much, guys, for always sticking with me, for coming back to watch my videos. If you're new here to this channel, my name is Gloria, and I create content about my experience here in Canada as a new immigrant. And I also love to help newcomers to navigate their way by sharing everything I know about this country and how you can help you to settle in and living in Canada. So definitely hit that red subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And if you've been watching me and you're wondering, should I or should I not? Yes, you should. Please go ahead right now, hit that red subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell icon, because you'll be the first to know when I upload new videos. And to all my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos, share my videos, like my videos. And because I said that, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And until I see you in my very next video, you guys know my video comes up once every week on Sunday. So a new video is coming out tomorrow. So digest this one. If you have any questions, again, let us know. And until I see you next time, please stay safe and bye.